Next question. Consider following information. ABC Limited, a company based in Mumbai. It has sold goods to XYZ Limited, a company based in Delhi. So that is a company in Mumbai. It has sold goods to a company which is there in Delhi. Goods are sold on 1st of April. Invoice was received by XYZ Limited on 5th of April. Highlight the portion. Credit period is 3 months. On 5th of July, XYZ Limited sent payment by check through post. ABC Limited received the check on 7th of July. Check was processed through the internal control system and it was deposited on 9th of July. Amount of check was actually credited in account of ABC Limited on 12th of July. From above information, you are required to explain these four questions. Question number 1 is billing float. Question number 2 is postage float or mail float. Third question is internal control processing float, or it is given a name as check processing float. And the last is bank processing float. Please go through the question, all of you. Let us have understanding of this new concept. I request all of you to pay attention. First of all, again we'll have the discussion. We are entering into a new segment and that is given a technical name as receipt float. There are two types of float. In that, say, right now we are having a discussion about the receipt float. I am reading the question once again. ABC Limited is a company based in Mumbai. It has sold goods to XYZ Limited, a company based in Delhi. Goods are sold on 1st of April. Invoice was received by XYZ Limited on 5th of April. So over here we understand that, say, the goods are sold on April 1st and so the invoice was received by the customer on 5th of April, like that information is given. So we understand that, say, basically, say there is a delay in invoicing. This is called technically delay in invoicing. And this delay in invoicing, friends, is given a technical name as billing float. The term float stands for time gap. So whatever the time gap that, say, we have due to delay in invoicing is given a name as billing float. The customer has received the payment, that is, say, the bill on 5th of April. Customer is very smart. Customer counts the credit period from the date on which the customer has received the bill and not the date on which, so, the goods were received. So basically we understand that, say, the 5th of April plus 3 months, that is 5th of July, that is the date on which, so, the customer sent the payment. Okay, so this is what, so, the credit period that we have usually. On 5th of July, so, the customer sent the payment, which is received, say, by the company on 7th of July. The check was, say, sent through post and it was received by the company on 7th of July. So this time gap is given a technical name as postage float, or it is given a name as mail float, post, courier, or something like that, other means of the delivery. Soon after you receive the check, you don't deposit it. Basically there is some administration procedure wherein we understand that, say, you may be having, say, your like ERP. In that, say, you will, say, write, or that is everything or something like this. You may be having that you are updating your records of the collection, let's say from whom you have received the payment, against which bill you have received the payment. If at all there is a discount scheme, then in that case, whether a discount is claimed by the customer or not. If the customer has claimed discount, then it is proper or not. Like that, say these are the things that say you will verify before you deposit the check. So there is a delay because of, say, the deposit of the check is on 7th, and this is technically given a name as internal control processing float. This is called internal control processing float. That is 9th of July. Okay. After deposit of the check, so 9th of July, in the banking procedure, it will take some time. And because of that, so the funds are actually credited in the account on 12th of July. And this is what, say, we understand is, so the bank processing float. So right now I'm just giving an explanation to you. Of course, we are required to write answer properly. This is bank processing float. So the time period in which the check is, say, deposited in the bank, and it will take some time in the clearing procedure. And the total of all this is what we understand is called receipt float. That is what we understand. So now we are going to write, say, the explanation for each of the float in detail. I request all of you to take this a kind of small diagram. This is only for understanding purpose, but that will help you, so to have the overall glimpse of the question quickly. So please draw the diagram, that is, say, quickly, and then we'll write answer. So write down answer. Now, from examination point of view, we'll write answer like this. First question is billing float. In that write down, it means delay in invoicing. Second, postage or mail float. In that write down, it is the time gap due to customer sending the payment by check, and company is receiving the check. It may be by post or courier or any other means of delivery. Full stop. Third, internal control processing float slash check processing float. In the write down, once check is received, comma, it is not deposited immediately. Full stop. It is deposited after processing it through internal control process. For example, checking of check amount, comma, updating internal records and such other administration work. Full stop. This is called internal control processing float. Full stop. Fourth, bank processing float. In that write down, once check is deposited, comma, there will be some time in clearance. Full stop. This time gap is called bank processing float. Full stop. Now I want you to write in the chat box that says a company, I would like to have my receive float more and I would like to have my receive float less. Please write answer in the chat box. Friends, over here we understand, of course, as a company I would like to shrink, I would like to reduce my receive float so far possible. Because more the receive float, there is more blockage of the funds in the business. That is the reasons I would like to reduce it so far possible. So please add on answer. This is for the understanding purpose. Always a company would like to reduce receipt float so far possible. A company would like to reduce the receipt float so far possible. Now, how could you reduce the, that is, how can you reduce the receipt float? For that, say there are two systems. One is given a name as lockbox system and another is given a name as concentration banking. So there are two systems with which say you can reduce the receipt float. Um, how does that is how do they operate, that we are going to understand subsequently, but just for the time being I would like to tell you that say there are two methods, there are two tools that we have with which we can reduce the receipt float. Read on further. With reduction in receipt float, comma, a company can reduce blockage of funds in the business and with that carrying cost. Full stop. It can be reduced by implementing LBS, lockbox system, comma, CB, concentration banking. So with that set can be reduced by using the lockbox system and or concentration banking.